Welcome back to a brand new PTCG live video. Today I'll be showcasing the new Mega Lopunny EX from the newly released set Phantasmal Flames. So that being said, let's get into the deck list. Let's see what new cards we'll be running. So we do have a 2-2 line of the new Buneary and Mega Lopunny EX, and we do have two really good attacks. The first one is the one that we're most interested in though, where we have the Gale Thrust for 1 Careless Energy. We can do 60 base damage, and if we move from the bench into the active, we can do an additional 170 more damage with this attack. And the second attack is mostly a backup attack, just in case they try to wall us out with something like that single prize Crustle. We can use the Spiky Hopper for the 160 base damage, and this attack's damage isn't affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. So this is going to be a Poison Donk deck as well, which is why we are going to be running the 2 copies of this Brute Bonnet for that Toxic Powder ability, where once during your turn, if you have an Ancient Capsule attached to this Pokemon, we can make both active Pokemon poisoned. And the reason why we want this is so that we can potentially use the 2 copies of these Pecharunts in the deck for that Toxic Subjugation ability. And if this Pokemon is in the active spot, we get to bump up the poison damage by an additional 50 more damage. And when we combine this with the Perilous Jungle, we can pretty much max out at 80 poison damage with Pecharunt in the active spot. And then we do run the 1 copy of the Munkidori here for that Adrenaline Brain ability. Once during your turn, if you have a Dark Energy on this Pokemon, we can move our 3 damage cannons from one of our Pokemon over to one of your opponents. And then we do run the 1 copy of the Budew here, just in case we go second on the first turn of the game. We can use the Itchy Pollen for some cheap item lock and do 10 damage, and then during your opponent's next turn, they can't play any item cards. And then lastly, we have the 2 copies of the Squawkabilly EX here for that Squawk and Seize ability. On the first turn of the game, we can discard our hand to draw 6 new cards. And then moving on to our trainer cards, for our ace spec, we have the Secret Box. We can only use this card if we discard 3 other cards from our hand. And then we can search out our deck for an item card, tool card, supporter card, as well as a stadium card. And then for our stadium cards, we run all 4 copies of the Perilous Jungle, which will bump up the poison damage by an extra 20 more damage in between turns on all non-dark type Pokemon. And then for our supporter cards, we have the 4 Boss's Orders for gusting up one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. The 4 copies of Carmine, where you get to discard your hand and then draw 5 new cards. And what's really good is that you can even use this on the first turn of the game when you normally can't play supporter cards. The 2 copies of Iono for draw support as well as hand disruption. The 1 copy of Professor Turo's Scenario, where you get to put 1 Pokemon in play back into your hand and then discard any attached cards. And then for the tool cards, we run all 4 copies of the Ancient Capsule for our Brute Bonnet for that poison status, as well as the 2 copies of the Binding Mochi, where we can bump up our damage by extra 40 more damage if we have poison status on the Pokemon that this card is attached to. And then for our energy cards, we run all 4 copies of the Jet Energy as well, which will be a switching option and a colorless energy, all rolled into 1. And then lastly, we have the 3 copies of the basic Dark Energy. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's get into some games here. Okay, we won the coin toss, decided to go first, had our opponent go second. Talking about a really bad hand. I have the Veltal. Like, if it wasn't for the Ultra Ball, that would have been even worse of a hand. Let's get the Squawk. Let's say we can make something happen. Because that is pretty bad. I guess we can grab the Carmine. Hopefully we don't get Night Stretcher here for the restart. Okay, they already get rid of Perilous Jungle. Looks like it's going to be Marnie's Grimmsnarl. They use Lilies. Yeah, looks like they're going to use Iron Bundle this turn, honestly. They get Munkidori. They Spike Move Gym, probably for a Impidimp. Yeah, there it is. No, they actually pass here. They don't even use the Iron Bundle. They go down to Poison damage. We get Buneary. They go into Iron Bundle. Yeah, this was Gust Up. And let's get the Impidimp out. Turo, I guess that's pretty good. We'll take that. Because now we're definitely slowing them down tremendously. Binding Mochi. They go back into Iron Bundle. Yeah, I'm just kind of surprised they let the Veltal go down and not use Iron Bundle that turn. They play Arven. Rare Candy TM Evolution. Yeah, I feel like they just might concede here soon. They search on their Impidimp. Or maybe not. Yeah, they just concede here. Okay, so we did win the coin toss. Decided to go first. Our opponent goes second. And they did take one mulligan here as well. Yeah, so let's go Secret Box, pick up Carmine, Nest Ball, Guess Mochi, and Jungle. Yeah, I feel like we basically win this here. It's going to Pecharunt. It's going to Squawk and Seize. And then let's just pass. There's really nothing they can do. They had no benched backups, so it's an auto lose for them. So we get boss's orders. There we go. So yeah, we won the coin toss, decided to go first, had our opponent go second. And looks like no mulligans here in the setup, so let's see. I feel like here we basically have to Ultra Ball for, I guess, the Brute Bonnet. Okay, looks like they have the Enzarua or Enzark EX. And then Anna's going to Buneary. Go for the Squawk and Seize. Yeah, we already put jungle out, so there's no point in... Let's get Binding Mochi. I don't know, we want the Latias. I don't know, let's just grab Latias. Put some poison pressure here. Restart for one. Munkidori. Yeah, that's in turn. I feel like it still does something, the 60 damage. If it wasn't them being a dark type, they would have just lost already, honestly. But who knows, maybe they didn't find any item cards to search out Pokemon. Okay, never mind, they got Buddy Poffin. 2 more Enzarua. They use Iono, so we're getting 3 cards here. Okay, looks like they do combine this with a Mega Gengar. Oh yeah, they're retreating out here into a fresh Enzarua. Yeah, really not much to do here. We'll just go for the poison image again. So yeah, they get Artisan. The way I see this is that we have 2 weakened and Zoroark EXs here, making them very easy to KO for our Mega Lopunny EX. They get Reshiram. If only we could find that Lopunny EX. Yeah, so let's go Iono here. Come on, we gotta find Ultra Ball Lopunny. Okay, there's Ultra Ball. Perfect. Should I get rid of Munkidori? Let's get rid of Night Stretcher, I guess. I got the Zoroark EX, 2 prize cards right off the bat. We get Squawk and Mochi. So I guess that's why I gotta have 2 Squawks in this deck. If you only have 1, it will definitely make things hard. See, they get Haunter down. Okay, looks like they're going... Okay, they get Fezandipiti here. And they use Iono. Yeah, they evolve up the bench and Zoroark EX over there. They trade up Ghastly. Ooh, interesting. Hero's Cape on the Zoroark EX. Yeah, I think we'll go into Pecharunt here. Restart for 2. Didn't really want anything. Let's see, Pokégear. Did we play a supporter? No. There's really not much to get, so let's just end turn. Let's see what we get here. Carmine. Let's see, it's not all over Night Stretchers. That's 1. Okay, it's just one actually. They get the Mega Gengar EX into play. Second Dark Energy. Late bosses. Because we got so many targets on our bench. The Latias, the Mew, the Squawk. All of those are basically one-hit KOs for them. They Arven. They can still get counter catcher of Arven, so we're not out of the clear. No, they get Buddy Poffin and TM Evo. And I kind of want to gust up the Fezandipiti, but with the Mega Gengar in play, it is technically one prize. But if we target the Reshiram, it's one prize also, but we'll get rid of the End's Reshiram at least. But then they'll be able to use Flip the Script, so it's kind of like a toss-up almost. What is even worth gusting? Maybe the second attack might bypass it. Let's try Pokegear. There's the boss. Yeah, let's chance it. Let's gust up Fezandipiti. Let's say we get one prize or two prize. We actually don't have the second energy, I actually forget. Let's see, maybe we can draw it. Let's go restart. Boss. Yeah, I'll chance on that. So yeah, it's just gonna be one prize. Because of the Mega Gengar. We get Ancient Capsule. And I don't believe we have Tool Scrapper in this deck or anything like that, so we're kinda stuck with that Hero's Cape in play. Something tells me they're probably not gonna bench anything else. Because why would they? Like... They boss us here. Yeah, they're probably gonna get one of those three on the bottom. They get a Squawk. See, restart for one boss. Knock out the Reshiram. Kind of hoping they put something else on the bench here. We get Pal Pad. Yeah, it looks like they're gonna get another Ends Rush Rain maybe. But if they do, we can just Gust it and KO it. Like, there's no way they're one-hit KOing our Mega Lopunny. 300 damage. Even if they had the 2 energies on Gengar, Gengar only does 230. So yeah, they kind of did get trapped here. Yeah, they go for Night Joker. Kind of surprised they didn't use another gusting option. Because all of our weak Pokemon are kind of on the bench for them to KO. You know what? We actually don't have the Jet Energy here. I don't know, let's grab Turo and Boss. No, I think we're just gonna Gust up. Hoping they don't have a boss. Yeah, they just concede actually. Okay, so our opponent won the coin toss. They decided to go first, has to go second. Looks like no mulligans, and looks like they're going to be up against Mega Sharpedo EX. I don't know if they have Mega Gengar. Probably not. Looks like they're going to go for Toxtricity. And maybe something else. Yeah, I feel like we'll go for Squawkabilly here. No, nothing really to Pal Pad here. It's Carmine. And then I think I'll just end turn. Don't really want to go for the poison damage here because that'll give him that free damage counter for Mega Sharpedo, so a decent start, but unfortunately we did get 2 of the Mega Lopunny out of 2 in the discard, so we need a Night Stretcher, which we only have 2 left in the deck potentially. Another Capsule, yeah. Let's pass. Yeah, that's basically a full turn. We didn't get to do anything because there was not much we can do. We just simply aren't drawing anything like a supporter card that we desperately need. They get Toxtricity. So they only got 2 cards in their hand. They go for the Sinister Surge, so they're putting energy cards on the Seviper. Yeah, so it's pass. This is really not ideal. Another Toxel. Sinister Surge again. Ultra Ball. Meew's not even in the deck. And so Mew EX got prized. I hope some of the Night Stretchers didn't get prized, so that we actually get a chance to get the Lopunnies out of the discard. They get Munkidori. At least they can't use a Sinister Surge on that. They would have to use Energy Switch or attach manually. I'm talking about just a slow start for us. It looked really good on turn 1, and then it's just like downhill. We knock out Carvana. Oh, there's our Mew EX. A little too late, but... Should we gust them? Do 60, which... Yeah, I think we should gust them for the Seviper. It has 3 energies on it. So we pick up Pokégear. Okay, we definitely need that, kind of. Let's see, the town store. I think they picked up Air Balloon. But yeah, it looks like they got a pretty tough start also. They just a Night Stretcher here. Yeah, they didn't even get to play 1 supporter card their entire game. They get Dark Energy, so they're gonna move damage counters over to us. And they go for Call for Family. So yeah, that's what I mean. Sometimes you can draw so bad that it just basically determines the game. Well, you can see, okay, they do pick up Fezandipiti and Tatsugear, but the Fezandipiti is not going to work, so I don't know what kind of a difference that's going to really make in the long term. Yeah, let's go Carmine. Yeah, of course, no Night Stretcher. Okay, there's our secret box in the prize stack. Not really where we need it, but it is pretty good to actually finally get it. Yeah, they just conceded here. Well, those are all of the games. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.